Well, that's about it for today. I want to talk to you all about a recent experience I had with the VA. I am one of your veterans, and I am a client at the VA, and I feel very fortunate for that. The VA has done me pretty darn good. And I wanted to make a quick video, quick for me, a quick video to share that while it is very possible that many people have negative experiences interacting with the VA, I submit from my personal experience that I've had very good experiences. Now, has everyone been positive? Heck no. I'd be lying if I said that. But overall, I am exceedingly pleased. And the case in point for that is I went to my provider for my annual checkup. Now, I've been to my provider for other issues throughout the year, but there's still always that annual checkup. And they've been pretty good, even through the pandemic years. And so, before the appointment, my provider put in for labs. And I went and did the labs. Now, if I had one aspect that was a little bit at odds with how that process worked, it would be 1 year they didn't tell me that I was going to get a lipid panel and an insulin or a HbA1c type thing. And I wanted to go into that, knowing what I've learned so far through the wonderfulness that is YouTube and Google and the carnivore community. I wanted to know, and I should have known that what was going to be tested and what state I needed to be in. I just saw I needed to go do a lab. I went and I did the lab. And of course, my numbers really had a lot of elevation in them. And that kind of set me off. So I made the decision that I'm not going to the VA to have labs drawn without being at least 12 hours fasted. Anyway, I did my last lab test. That lab test came back with a lot of good numbers, and we can do all the numbers later. Suffice it to say, though, that other than my total cholesterol was elevated and my LDL was elevated, everything else seemed pretty good. My AST was a little high too, and I'm going to get to that eventually. So I went to my doctor yesterday, and my doctor was like, all right, let's look at all the things. And we looked at all the things going on, and I told my doctor, this is what I'm doing. I'm eliminating extra carbs. I'm eliminating almost all carbs. To which my doctor replied, okay. I was like, 1.5 thumbs way up. I was so ecstatic about that. My doctor's not fighting me. Doctor's not giving me grief. My elevated cholesterol did not rise to a level such that the comment statins came in. It did not. And I was like, all right, I can do this. I can work with this. And so that's what I did. So we had a wonderful conversation. And that conversation pretty much, revolved around my long-standing issues that we're trying to take care of. A new one. I have a rash, and I get a rash every once in a while, and I get the keto rash too. And I have an idea about that. I get the keto rash, but I had these other rashes that were really, really kind of very itchy and causing me grief. And so I told her about it, and she said, "Well, then let's go ahead and get yourself over to the dermatology lab." And I was like, "Sure, well, why not?" And as that happens to be, I went ahead and went over to the derm lab, and so I am actually seeing a VA clinic. I'm not at the big main VA hospital. Anyway, they did pictures. They took some really nice pictures. They used some really specialized lenses and lights to really look at the rash, and they're gonna email the pictures and the and the dermatologist will get back to me and probably tell me that I either have an eczema outbreak or maybe some I don't know, like some like ringworm or something like that. And I've had that before. Ever since I was stationed over in Germany, I ended up with a lot of that over in Germany because I used so much natural fertilizer there, and so it was problematic. Pardon me. I'm going to log in right now to my VA webpage and look at my latest labs just to make sure I'm speaking a truth in all this. Ah, there we go. I got it. And we'll go labs and tests. This is a wonderful thing about technology today. We can look at these labs and really hone in on um, on things quickly, and they put it right up on the lab. I've got the higher permission um, access. And so, okay, first thing, my vitamin D was at 52. That's great because the previous measurements 5 months earlier, my vitamin D was 27. And I'm taking about 5,000 to 8,000 units of vitamin D a day. And I take some K2. So that's helping. And obviously, it's helping because I was able to raise my vitamin D a lot in the dead of fall and winter. So I think that's really good. And I'm just waiting now for this next one, my serum test to come back. Okay, so here we go. My total cholesterol was 216. So it's a little elevated, right? Their threshold is anything over 199, 200 and above. My LDL was 156, and anything over 129 for the VA is elevated. So with that, I was able to tell and talk to the provider, and I said, okay, so now that we've established my cholesterol's up, yes, I'm on a higher protein, higher fat, low carb diet. I'd like to order some lab tests uh, for my lipid and do a lipid panel that does and measures particle size. And I want to call it a lipid refraction test. I could be wrong in utilizing that term, but I want to say that's something very close to what I wanted to order because I hear Dr. Bikman talk about it a lot. So then I went ahead and ordered that and the ApoB because I wanted to know about my inflammation due to insulin. And I mentioned to her, I said, I noticed that we didn't do an insulin test. And my doctor, she said, oh, we can take care of that right now. She put in the order for me to go ahead and get my blood work done again. And so I did. And they made the appointment for me, and that was today. And I walked right on into there and I did it. So I was thinking to myself, how lucky am I? How fortunate am I that I can go to my provider and my provider will order up the tests for me and get it done. So I am feeling extraordinarily blessed today. And for all the people and all the times you hear such negative things about the VA, and I'm not here to say that that doesn't happen. I'm not. I can only talk from an N of one, as we like to say. My N of one of experiences on par, distribution wise. My experience with the VA has been very good, both the VA in Omaha, Nebraska, and the VA in Huntsville, Alabama, and the big VA in Birmingham. So that's my take on things today. And again, I went to an annual appointment. I told my doctor what I was doing. My doctor responded with a okay. And and then when I pointed out, hey, by the way, I'd like to see if it'd be possible. Could we check on maybe getting some additional tests done? Okay. Well, I asked for ApoB, Homa IR, insulin, and the lipid panel for lipid particle size and stuff. Everything was okay. Then I did ask for CGM. I was told no, because I'm not a diabetic. And I was like, okay, I'll take that. not going to get in the argument right now. She's like, I can't do that. I can't write you a script for it, and I can't give it to you because you just don't fit the profile protocol. So I wasn't upset about that. I really wasn't. Because when I look at everything, with that high cholesterol of 216 and the LDL at 156, my HDL is only 44. And I know why that is. It's only 44 because I haven't been doing regular strenuous exercise. But my triglycerides down to 79. Hey, I'll take a 79. At this point, this juncture, I'll take it. Now, the only other thing of concern to me would have been my ALT. My ALT went from 27 to 41. But listening to Dr. Bikman, it could have been exercise. There are a lot of things it could have been, but it's not like it's not out of range. But 25 would probably be the ideal for an ALT. I guess at some point in time, before the great big liver transplant business model came into being, doctors would have been concerned about a fatty liver at 25. Now, I have a fatty liver. I've had a fatty liver for years. Problem was, not that I wasn't strict on my low carb, because I was very, very strict low carb carnivore, on again and off again. And I did intermittent fasting. So that was pretty amazing, right? I knew for me. So I should have been losing that fatty liver. But what I wasn't good at is I continued to drink alcohol. Now, I'm not a fall down drunk. I don't have any drinking issues like social issues or legal issues, nothing like that. But all alcohol gets converted into fat, and it's most likely will stay in the liver. A lot of things going on. Just had a great opportunity to listen to Dr. Bikman in one of his InsulinIQ courses. Talked a lot about fatty liver. Talked a lot about if I can, I'll put a link of that up here, right? But he wonderful breakdown at the high levels for us who are not educated like Dr. Bikman, but a wonderful thing on the metabolism and the things that go on in the liver with regard to fatty liver and fats you ingest and the fats your liver makes and all that. I won't go all into that, but it was an extraordinarily well put together, as usual, presentation from Dr. Benjamin Bikman, and you would be well served to go to it. Now, again, I will endeavor to put a link here in the video and in the description. So anyhow, I'm gonna wrap this up because I just wanted to get out there and be at least one voice, just one voice, that would commend the Veterans Affairs Medical Department from the Department of Veteran Affairs and just say, thank you. You're done good. I appreciate you. And I look forward to my partnership with my VA provider, because my provider didn't put me down, didn't denigrate me, didn't hush me, didn't roll any eyes, but said, okay, that sounds good. Let's do that. Now, will every provider do that? I don't know. But my provider did. And I just wanted to say thank you to my provider. Now, if any of you have questions about VA stuff, if you have a veteran in your family, or if you have someone who was married to a veteran in your family, I'm speaking mainly parents, right? And you have a question about potentially receiving benefits from the VA, hey, let me know. Get a hold of me in the show notes. I love dealing with that stuff, and I'll do what I can to point you in the right direction and give you maybe some topics and words and phrases to ask the people at the VA so you can explore that for your loved ones or if it's for yourself. But again, I thank you. I thank the VA, and I hope you have a blessed day. Take care now. Bye-bye.